let us quickly test the customer JPA data access service. So in here, you saw that we actually tested this right here. So we actually had two custom queries that we added, and then we tested those two methods. And if you forgot, so these two methods in here, and I've showed you the necessary annotations to test JPA repositories. But we still have to test this guy here. So customer JPA data access service. And I said that basically in here, we kind of just doing, one thing, and that is invoking the methods from the repository, but still we can test this using mocks, because we could imagine a scenario where someone comes in and they basically add null in here. So if they add null in here, then how do we know that this class still works? Well, we don't, right? So let's just put this back, and I'll show you again. I'll put it back to null, and you'll see how this will fail. Now, to test this class, we're going to use Mockito, and I'm not going to spend too much on Mockito because Mockito, I cover it fully in the testing course. But here you can basically go to the official documentation for Mockito, and you can read more about the why, how, and they've got some links in here quite useful that you can read. But if I show you how in here, so how to drink it, they've got yeah, it's quite funny. But anyway, so basically a Mockito allows you to create mocks where you have full control of them. So here is a very good example where you have a mock of a list, and then you add stuff to your list, you invoke methods, and when you say add, it doesn't really add something to it, but what you can do later is verify that the list was invoked with the add method given the argument in here, which is 1. And also you can verify that the clear method was invoked. And this is exactly what we need for our test class. Next, let's go ahead and learn how to use it within our application. So within our class called Customer JPA Data Access Service, we want to mock this repository right here, because this already has been tested. Remember, we tested this interface right here, and now when we use it as a dependency to other classes, we just have to mock it. We don't have to invoke the real implementation. So in our example, what we have is customer repository, which has been tested, and we know that it works. Then within customer JPA data access service, we have a dependency on customer repository. Now, this customer repository, when we use it within the customer JPA data access service, is going to be a mock. So we don't need the real instance with the real behaviors. Instead, we just mock it. Now, you might be saying, okay, but why? Well, when we unit test, we focus on the unit itself. We make sure that it actually tests. And then when there are multiple dependencies on a class which is under test, we just mock it because we want our tests to run fast and with as fewer dependencies as possible. And later you'll see how we're going to basically test everything as a whole, and that is integration test. But at the moment, we're just focusing on the unit itself.